Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Madden Meisters football predictions. This is the predictions for League 2 in the English division. We have already brought you wonderful things in the way of the Premier League predictions, the Championship, and we've also brought you League 1. Now, in this video, we're going to bring you League 2 and a bit of ins and outs, some predictions, some updates on what we think are going to take place across the fixtures. So obviously this is round 14 of the EFL League 2. We're going to start our predictions off with the early kickoff. One of the early kickoffs in League 2, which is Cheltenham Town, 22nd in the table, against Walsall, who are first in the table. And when you look at this table, you're going, there is a lot here, saying that there is a lot between the two sides. And yeah, there is. And the performances from Walsall have been better than the ones from Cheltenham. Even with Cheltenham at home, I'm sorry, Cheltenham fans, if you're watching. I see Walsall running away with this one, 3-1. Moving on to the second League 2 game, which is also an early kickoff between 12th place Fleetwood Town and 20th place Accrington Stanley in 20th. Well, in this one, Fleetwood Town at home are dangerous. They've had major players over the years in the way of they've had Paddy Madden play for them, score a few goals for them. Obviously, Paddy Madden not there any longer. They've got some decent strikers. Accrington Stanley, they've showed a few performances that they can play, but they're not putting them on a regular basis, and I don't see them winning here today. Coming to Fleetwood. So my prediction is 2-0 Fleetwood. Moving on to a 3 o'clock kickoff between 15th place Barrow and newly promoted Barnet. Remember, Barnet have only just come up from the National League last season, and this is their first season back in the Football League. And Barnet are actually in 10th at the moment. So Barnet have really got going this season. And Barrow have been in the League 2 for a few seasons now. And they're sat 15th, so pretty comfortable in the table. But for me, Barnet are a team that are travelling really well as well. So I do see this one being a bit of a close one. And I do see a win in the way of Barnet. And my prediction for this one is 2-1 Barnet, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to another game in the 3 o'clock kickoffs in League 2, which is Bromley, 13th place Bromley, against MK Dons. MK Dons are third this year. Third. I have seen a few performances from MK Dons this season, including the EFL Trophy game against Reading, where Reading beat MK Dons 1-0, but that was a lower Reading side, so we saw a bit more possession from MK Dons, where MK Dons actually should have won the game on a few occasions. But MK Dons are playing extremely well in League 2 this season. And I do see them being a very big potential team in the promotion race as they are sat right now. Obviously, last season they were in this position again, but fell away at the mid-drift of the season. They fell away and ended up finishing more closer to the bottom half of the table than they did the top. So hopefully this season they can get it all rolling together. But I do see a 3-1 away victory for MK Dons in this one. Moving on to another 3 o'clock kickoff, We're going to Crawley Town, which is second from bottom. Not doing very well. They're not playing very well either. They are 23rd in the league. They are going against Bristol Rovers, who are 16th. Bristol Rovers have not been in great form either. So, it's a bit of an up and down game. But I see this being a comfortable 3-0 win for Bristol Rovers. I just don't see Crawley Town doing very much this year. I think they might be one of the teams going down this year. There's not a lot coming back from the team. There's not a lot on the pitch either. There's not very good performances at the moment taking place. Moving on to the next 3 o'clock kickoff, which is Crewe Alexandra against Grimsby. Now, I've also seen Grimsby play football against Manchester United in the EFL Cup. Obviously, Grimsby are 4th in League 2, so in some ways, we've seen them make some really shock games where they've beaten Manchester United, obviously in the EFL Cup. That was a big upset. They beat us on they beat them on penalties. That's a big thing for them this season, is how far they've gone in the cup, because they're going to get a very nice payday from that. But I see Crewe being a very good team at home, and I know how Crewe play mostly, and they play very, very tight football together as a team, as a squad. So I actually see this one being a 1-1 draw, and the points being split, basically. Both getting a point, both staying around the same area. Moving on to Gillingham Town. Gareth Ainsworth. As we all know, Gareth Ainsworth came up with a plan at the start of the season where he went unbeaten for about 10 weeks. He went massive. He would not lose at all. Well, over the last few weeks, we have seen him lose. And Gillingham are going to Salford, are playing against Salford Red Devils. And Salford, again, are playing really impressive football at the moment. Really, really looking dangerous. Now, because of Salford's performances over the last few weeks, they are building their way into the top of the table race. They are 7th. They are in the playoffs as we speak. So you are literally looking at one of the greatest teams down there in the playoff race at the moment. Obviously, both of these two teams are in the playoffs, but my prediction here is Salford 2 and Gillingham 1, and it will be another defeat for Gareth Ainsworth. Moving on to Harrogate Town versus Newport County. Newport County, not sure what the hell's happened. Like, a few seasons ago, they played brilliant FA Cup football, went against Tottenham, played loads of football. This season, they really cannot get going. This is a really slow start from Newport County. They sit 24th in the league. Now, Harrogate Town have played some really good games. They've won some really good games. They've taken Walsall to the line, losing 2-1 in the final minutes. They've lost a couple of their last games 2-1. Now, I don't see Harrogate Town leaving home without winning their game 3-1. Moving on to Notts County and Cambridge. This is 8th v 9th. I'm not going to say a lot about this. Cambridge are performing really, really well. Really well. Glad to see it because it's finally happened. Notts County, they're performing well like they did last season as well. It's just brilliant from them. I see this being a Desmond 2-2. We're not going to stay on that one for too long. Oldham Shrewsbury. Again, we saw Shrewsbury at the start of the season play really poor football. Now they're playing some really decent stuff. Early prediction, 17th versus 21st. 17th Oldham against 21st Shrewsbury. A 1-1 draw. Swindon Town. Second in League Two. This is brilliant for Swindon. I can't wait to see them back in League One if they can stay in this part of the table. And all I can see them doing is running away at home against Colchester. I can see them running away with this one. 3-1 for me. 3-1 Swindon Town over Colchester United. And then we've got Tranmere Rovers in 18th against Chesterfield in 6th. Not going to stay on this for very long either. My prediction for this game is Chesterfield 3, Tranmere Rovers 1. Obviously, Chesterfield have had a few good strikers as well, in the way of a family member of mine, in the way of Paddy Madden. He has also been there. And they're doing really well. They're 6th in the table. They're always fighting for that promotion. And they're always just missing out last season. They only just missed out last season. And I'll see them coming up very, very soon. But I do say thank you ever so much for this. For listening to my League 2 predictions. And I will be back with you next week for League 2 predictions. Or again, it either might be next weekend or it might be in midweek. I will let you know about the games midweek if there is any, but I will be doing a massive FA Cup prediction show on that. And I have got some wonderful things lined up for tomorrow morning as well, like podcasts and things about a football podcast, and getting a couple of friends' point of view on what's going on. But I will leave you and love you, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Thank you ever so much. Have a good, lovely evening, and see you